The Mandela Effect is a psychological phenomenon that has sparked intrigue and debate among skeptics and believers alike. This effect, named after the South African leader Nelson Mandela, describes the collective misremembering of specific events or details by large groups of people. But why is it named after Mandela, one might ask? The term was coined in 2010 by Fiona Broome, a self-described paranormal consultant, when she discovered that she, along with many others, remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison during the 1980s. Of course, Mandela didn't die in prison. He was released in 1990 and went on to become South Africa's first black president. He lived until 2013. This striking discrepancy between collective memory and factual history gave birth to what we now know as the Mandela Effect. The Mandela Effect is not merely an isolated occurrence. There are numerous examples that span across various fields, including literature, history, brand names, and even anatomy. Perhaps one of the most well-known instances involves the beloved childhood book series, The Berenstain Bears. A significant number of people recall the title being spelled as Berenstein, with an E, not Berenstain with an A. When confronted with the correct spelling, many are shocked and certain that it has been altered. They distinctly remember it being Berenstein, sparking debates and leading some to propose wild theories involving parallel universes and time travel. The Mandela Effect is not just about typos or mispronunciations, it also encompasses historical events. Take, for example, the widely recognized painting of King Henry VIII holding a turkey leg. Many people recall seeing this painting in textbooks and museums. The problem? This painting doesn't exist. King Henry VIII was never painted holding a turkey leg, yet the image is ingrained in the minds of many. Such instances point toward the existence of the Mandela Effect, a phenomenon that continues to baffle psychologists and enthusiasts alike. It raises questions about the reliability of our memories and the very nature of reality as we know it. Is it possible that our memories are flawed, or can they be an indication of something deeper, something beyond our current understanding? The Mandela Effect truly is a modern-day mystery, a puzzle that lacks a definitive explanation. As we delve deeper into this enigma, we uncover layers of complexity that challenge our perception of the world and ourselves. In the labyrinth of collective memory, the Mandela Effect stirs up a fascinating debate. Some argue that it's a mere consequence of false recollection, while others advocate for the theory of parallel universes. To delve deeper into this phenomenon, it's crucial to understand how the human memory works. Memory, contrary to popular belief, is not a static repository of information. Instead, it is a dynamic process, almost fluid in nature, which can be influenced by a myriad of factors. Each time we recall an event, we're not reliving the original moment, but rather revisiting the last time we remembered it. Thus, our memories are subject to constant change and can be subtly reshaped over time. This process is known as memory reconsolidation. Taking this into account, it's easy to see how the Mandela Effect could be a result of memory distortion. A slight alteration in the recollection of an event can ripple through time, resulting in a memory that's significantly different from the original event. Furthermore, when a false memory is shared within a group, it can be reinforced, leading to a collective misremembering. Still, this explanation can't satisfy all. Some proponents of the Mandela Effect argue that these collective memory discrepancies are evidence of parallel universes or alternate realities. They claim that the changes in our memories are not mistakes, but remnants of an alternate version of events. This theory draws on quantum physics and the many worlds interpretation, which suggests that there are potentially infinite parallel universes, each representing a different possible outcome of every situation. For instance, in one universe, Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 1980s. In another, he survived and became South Africa's president. These universes, according to the theory, exist simultaneously and can interact or intersect in ways we don't fully comprehend, causing changes in collective memory. This theory, as beguiling as it might be, is highly contentious. Critics argue that it lacks empirical evidence and relies heavily on speculation. They point out that memory inconsistencies are more likely to be explained by cognitive psychology than by quantum physics. Yet the Mandela effect persists in sparking interest and fostering debate. Its implications touch upon the reliability of our memories, the nature of reality, and even the potential existence of alternate universes. Whether it's a cognitive anomaly or a hint at something greater, the Mandela effect undeniably presents a riveting mystery of the human mind. Investigations into this phenomenon are ongoing, and it's a topic that continues to captivate researchers, theorists, and the general public alike. While we may not have definitive answers, the questions raised by the Mandela effect offer a thought-provoking journey into the complexities of memory and perception. It's a captivating exploration, a testament to the unfathomable depths of the human mind and the mysteries that lie within our collective consciousness. The exploration of the Mandela effect would feel incomplete without delving into its psychological implications. While the phenomenon is often brushed off as mere memory fallibility, its widespread manifestation raises questions worth examining. Cognitive psychologists posit that the Mandela effect could be a byproduct of how memory functions on a collective scale. Memory isn't a video recording that faithfully plays back any given day or moment. It's a complex brain function that involves encoding, storing, and retrieving information. Every time a memory is recalled, it's not an exact replay. Instead, the mind constructs the memory, often filling in gaps with logical inferences or false information. The famous Dies-Roediger-McDermott, or DRM paradigm, provides a fascinating glimpse into this process. In the DRM paradigm, subjects are given lists of words related to an unseen or unpresented word. When asked to recall the words, many subjects would confidently claim the unpresented word was on the list. This suggests that our brains are capable of creating false memories based on inference and association. Collective false memories, as seen in the Mandela effect, may be a macrocosm of this phenomenon. When a significant number of people share a common false memory, it's possible they're all filling in gaps in a similar way due to shared cultural contexts or cues. But what about the instances where the Mandela effect cannot be explained by shared cultural context or cues? Take into consideration the widely misquoted line from Star Wars, "Luke, I am your father." The real line is, "No, I am your father." Why do so many remember it incorrectly, despite the cultural footprint of Star Wars? Cognitive dissonance theory may provide some insight. Cognitive dissonance theory, proposed by Leon Festinger in 1957, suggests that human beings strive for internal consistency. When faced with information that contradicts existing beliefs, people experience psychological discomfort. To alleviate this discomfort, they may alter their memories to maintain a sense of consistency. In the context of the Star Wars misquote, it's possible that "Luke, I am your father" was easier to recall out of context because it provided necessary information for understanding the speaker, Darth Vader, the addressed Luke, and their relationship. Over time, the misquote may have been reinforced in popular culture due to this need for context, leading to widespread misremembering. These psychological theories offer one perspective on the Mandela effect, attributing it to the inherent fallibility and malleability of human memory. However, they don't account for all aspects of the phenomenon. There's a metaphysical dimension to the Mandela effect that's equally intriguing, opening the doors to discussions on parallel universes and quantum physics. Remember the Berenstain Bears controversy? Some theorists propose that those who remember Berenstein have in fact crossed over from an alternate reality where Berenstein is correct. This leads us into the realm of quantum mechanics and the many worlds interpretation, a theory that posits the existence of an infinite number of universes, including the one in which we exist. Every possible outcome of every event defines a new reality. Whether the Mandela effect is a curious manifestation of collective memory fallibility or a tantalizing peek into the multiverse, it continues to intrigue and bewilder, inviting us to question the reality we perceive. As the intricacies of the Mandela effect continue to unfurl, the phenomenon reveals an enthralling interplay of memory, cognition, and cultural influence. This interplay can be best understood by delving into the realm of cognitive science. Cognitive psychologists have long grappled with the elusive nature of memory, its plasticity, and the influence of external factors on its formation and recall. False memories, a concept closely related to the Mandela Effect, are a well-documented occurrence. They refer to recollections of events that never happened or happened differently from how they're remembered. Elizabeth Loftus, a renowned psychologist specializing in memory, conducted several groundbreaking studies on the creation and influence of false memories. Through the careful manipulation of language and suggestion, Loftus was able to implant entirely fictitious memories in the minds of her test subjects. This work brought to light the fallibility of memory, and how susceptible it is to external influence. An understanding of false memory brings us a step closer to understanding the Mandela Effect. Just as Loftus's subjects were swayed by the power of suggestion, the Internet, with its collective consciousness, can act as a potent catalyst for the Mandela Effect. It can propagate and reinforce false memories across vast networks of individuals, making the shared misremembering more pronounced and impactful. The sociocultural aspect of the Mandela Effect becomes apparent when examining its most popular instances. The majority are related to widely recognized cultural touchstones: movies, books, celebrity names, and logos. These are topics that pervade our shared cultural consciousness, making them fertile ground for collective misremembering. Consider the example of the children's book series, The Berenstain Bears. Many remember it as the Berenstain Bears, with an E instead of an A. This discrepancy has stirred up debate among those who vehemently recall the E spelling. The shared nature of this misremembering, amplified by Internet discussions, has transformed a simple case of false memory into a prominent instance of the Mandela Effect. The intertwining of memory and culture in the case of the Mandela Effect can perhaps be best explained by the concept of schema. A schema, as proposed by psychologist Frederick Bartlett, is a cognitive framework that helps us organize and interpret information. Schemas are shaped by cultural, societal, and personal factors. They influence what we pay attention to, how we process information, and how we remember things. In the case of the Berenstain Bears, our schema for common Jewish surnames, which often end in Stein, might have influenced the memory of the book's title, leading to the widespread misremembering. Here, an individual false memory, influenced by a culturally shaped schema, became a shared false memory, fueled by the collective consciousness of the Internet.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
As these examples illustrate, the Mandela Effect is not a simple trick of the mind. It is an intricate interplay of cognitive processes, shaped and amplified by cultural and societal factors. The phenomenon brings to light fascinating aspects of human cognition and memory, and their susceptibility to shared misinterpretation. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Mandela Effect lies in its psychological implications. It raises questions about the reliability of memory and the collective unconscious. This is not a phenomenon that affects a small, select group of individuals. Instead, it pervades across cultures and continents, affecting millions of people. The sheer scale of this occurrence begs the question, could this really just be a product of faulty memory? Renowned psychologists Elizabeth Loftus and Jacqueline Pickrell conducted a study in the 1990s that showcased the malleability of memory. Through their research, They demonstrated that it was possible to implant false memories into an individual's mind. This study sheds light on the potential for collective false memories, forming a cornerstone in the scientific explanation of the Mandela Effect. Yet it's critical to underscore that these implanted memories were personal, not collective. They pertain to the individual's personal experiences, not shared cultural memories or historical events. While Loftus and Pickrell's study provides insight into the fallibility of memory, it doesn't entirely explain the collective nature of the Mandela Effect. To delve further into this mystery, it's necessary to examine the role of mass media in shaping collective memory. In the digital age, information is disseminated rapidly and widely. A misquote in a popular film, a misprinted headline, or a viral meme can all contribute to the formation of collective false memories. Take the example of the Star Wars misquote, "Luke, I am your father." This phrase, often attributed to the character Darth Vader, is actually a misquote. The line in the film is, "No, I am your father." Over time, the misquote has been perpetuated in popular culture, leading many to remember it incorrectly. The Mandela Effect, then, could be seen as a byproduct of the information era. As individuals, we are constantly bombarded with data, images, and narratives. The collective mind is malleable, susceptible to influence, and prone to error. Despite the logical explanations, there are those who believe the Mandela Effect is evidence of something far more complex. Some proponents of the theory argue that these collective false memories are proof of parallel universes or quantum realities. They suggest that what we perceive as false memories are actually remnants of a different timeline or an alternate reality that has somehow merged with our own. This theory, while fascinating, is not widely accepted in the scientific community. It ventures into the realm of quantum physics, a field that, while exciting, remains largely speculative and theoretical. The scientific consensus leans towards the explanation that the Mandela Effect is a product of our fallible memory and the influence of mass media. However, the Mandela Effect continues to intrigue researchers and laymen alike. Its existence underscores the fact that our memory, the cornerstone of our identity, is not as reliable as we may believe. Whether a product of collective misremembering or evidence of parallel universes, the Mandela Effect remains a captivating enigma in the realm of psychology and popular culture. The Mandela Effect, a phenomenon that reveals the malleability of human memory, has sparked debates among psychologists, neuroscientists, and philosophers about the nature of reality itself. Is reality as solid and unchanging as we believe it to be? Or is it more fluid and subject to our individual perceptions and memories? It is a question that reaches far beyond the scope of simple misremembering. For instance, consider a philosophical perspective, the simulation theory, which postulates that the universe is not a concrete reality, but a sophisticated simulation. This theory has been increasingly discussed in the context of the Mandela Effect, with some proposing that the discrepancies in our collective memories result from glitches or updates in the simulated reality we inhabit. However, the simulation theory is not universally accepted. Many scientists and philosophers argue that it lacks empirical evidence and is fundamentally unfalsifiable, meaning it cannot be tested or disproven by conventional scientific methods. Still, its intersection with the Mandela Effect serves as an intriguing speculation into the nature of our reality. In a similar vein, the multiverse theory, a concept rooted in quantum physics, has also been linked with the Mandela Effect. The multiverse theory suggests the existence of an infinite number of alternate realities or universes, each slightly different from our own. According to this theory, the Mandela Effect arises as people inadvertently slip between these parallel realities, resulting in divergent memories. Once again, this theory is contentious. While it may be compatible with certain interpretations of quantum mechanics, it remains a matter of speculation, unsupported by direct evidence. However, like the simulation theory, it provides a fascinating lens through which to view the Mandela Effect. It is worth noting that these theories are not intended as definitive explanations for the Mandela Effect, but rather as conceptual tools to explore the philosophical and scientific implications of the phenomenon. They serve to highlight the profound questions the Mandela Effect raises about the nature of memory, reality, and our perception of the world. The Mandela Effect has also provoked discussions in the field of psychology, particularly around the concept of false memories. False memory syndrome is a condition in which a person's identity and relationships are influenced by memories that are factually incorrect but are strongly believed. This concept closely mirrors the experiences reported by those affected by the Mandela Effect, raising questions about the reliability of our memories and how they shape our understanding of reality. In the realm of neuroscience, the Mandela Effect provides an opportunity to delve into the intricacies of the human brain. It invites neuroscientists to explore how our brains encode, store, and retrieve memories, and how these processes can sometimes lead to the distortions or inaccuracies that characterize the Mandela Effect.
Most people would rather attend a corporate team-building workshop than search for auto and home insurance.
Go team! Feel that synergy!
That's why the Zebra searches for you, comparing over 100 insurance companies to find savings no one else can. Compare today at thezebra.com.
Who's ready for the trust fall?
While the Mandela Effect may be dismissed by some as mere misremembering, its implications are far-reaching, prompting inquiries into the very fabric of reality and the workings of our minds. As we delve deeper, it becomes clear that this phenomenon, nestled at the intersection of psychology, neuroscience, philosophy, and quantum physics, is more than just a curiosity. It is a testament to the complex, enigmatic nature of human memory and perception, challenging us to question, explore, and rethink our understanding of the world. The intricacies of the Mandela Effect and its potential causes have been widely considered. From memory misinterpretation to quantum physics, the theories are diverse and thought-provoking. Yet one other theory stands out, not for its scientific backing, but for the philosophical questions it raises about reality and our perception of it. This theory suggests that the Mandela Effect is evidence of a parallel universe. The idea of parallel universes, also known as the multiverse theory, is not a new concept. It has been a topic of intense discussion among physicists, philosophers, and even science fiction writers for years. The concept suggests that there may be multiple or even an infinite number of universes, including the one we inhabit. Each of these universes might have different laws of physics, different timelines, and potentially different versions of ourselves. In this context, the Mandela Effect becomes an intriguing piece of evidence for such a reality. The theory suggests that occasionally we may slip or shift between these parallel universes, causing us to remember events from a different universe's timeline. This, proponents argue, could explain why large groups of people remember events or details that do not align with our current historical records. For instance, if in one universe Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 1980s, those who remember his death from that period might have experienced a crossover or bleed-through from that universe to ours, where he lived until 2013. This theory could also explain other instances of the Mandela Effect, like the misremembered details of movie lines or the spelling of certain words. Of course, this is a theory that at present cannot be proven. The multiverse theory itself, while it has some backing in the form of quantum mechanics and string theory, is still a highly debated subject in the scientific community. However, it's a theory that continues to captivate, as it pushes the boundaries of what we understand about reality. Still, whether or not we take the multiverse theory as a plausible explanation for the Mandela Effect, it does raise fascinating questions about the nature of memory and reality. Is it possible that our memories are more complex than we understand, capable of retaining experiences from other realities? Or is the Mandela Effect merely a testament to the fallibility of human recollection, a fascinating glitch in our mental processes? While the Mandela Effect continues to baffle and fascinate, it is a reminder of the complexities of the human mind. It encourages us to question our understanding of reality, memory, and the very nature of existence. Whether a product of parallel universes, psychological phenomena, or some as-yet undiscovered cause, the Mandela Effect remains an enigma, an unsolved mystery at the crossroads of psychology, neuroscience, and quantum physics. Advocates of the Mandela Effect theory often point to the supposed changes in the logos or spellings of well-known brands as evidence. One example is the Kit Kat logo. Some individuals distinctly remember the logo as having a hyphen like Kit Kat, but in reality the logo has never had a hyphen. Similarly, many believe that the popular peanut butter brand was spelled Jiffy, not Jif, as it is today. However, historical records show that Jif has always been the correct spelling. The complexity of the human mind and its ability to misremember things is the leading scientific explanation for the Mandela Effect. Yet some proponents of the theory argue that these are not cases of misremembering, but rather evidence of parallel realities or alternate timelines. They argue that those who experience the Mandela Effect have slipped between these realities, causing their memories to differ from the recorded history. To support this, they often cite the many worlds interpretation of quantum physics, which suggests that all possible alternate histories and futures are real, each representing an actual world or universe. In essence, for every choice made, a new universe is formed where the opposite decision was taken. This idea, while fascinating, is highly controversial and not widely accepted within the scientific community. The many worlds interpretation is just that, an interpretation of quantum mechanics, and not a proven fact. Furthermore, the concept of the existence of parallel universes does not necessarily imply that one can travel between them or that they can interact in any way. Skeptics of the Mandela Effect theory argue that it is a phenomenon rooted in the fallibility of human memory, rather than a grand cosmic mystery. Psychologists have long known that memory is not as reliable as one might think. Numerous studies have shown that people's memories can be influenced by suggestion, and that they often fill in gaps in their memory with false information. This phenomenon is known as confabulation. Confabulation is often mistaken for lying, but it's more complex than that. It's the brain's attempt to fill in missing memory gaps by adding fabricated facts and experiences. Unlike lying, confabulation isn't intended to deceive, and the person confabulating fully believes that the remembered details are real. With this understanding, the Mandela Effect becomes less of a mystery. The misremembered facts and events are likely the result of confabulation, where false memories have been created to fill in gaps. This could explain why so many people collectively misremember certain events or details, a shared mistake, a common confabulation. In the end, whether one chooses to believe in the Mandela Effect as evidence of alternate realities or as a psychological phenomenon, it undeniably points to the human mind's fascinating complexity. It serves as a reminder of how memory, while incredibly powerful, is not infallible, and how our understanding of reality is ultimately shaped by our perception. Within the realm of the Mandela Effect, one intriguing concept to consider is the role memory plays in shaping our collective reality. Neuroscientists explain that human memory isn't a perfect recording of an event, but rather a reconstruction. Each time a memory is recalled, it's vulnerable to modification, which means that over time, a memory can significantly deviate from the original event. This process is known as memory reconsolidation. Memory reconsolidation has been observed in numerous scientific studies. In one experiment, participants watched a film of a car accident and were later asked questions about what they saw. The researchers used different verbs to describe the accident, such as hit, collided, or smashed. They found that the choice of verb affected participants' memory of the accident. Those who heard the word smashed remembered the accident as more serious than it was, even going so far as to recall seeing broken glass, which was not present in the film. This demonstrates how susceptible human memory is to suggestion and how easily it can be manipulated, even unintentionally. In the context of the Mandela Effect, it's conceivable that similar processes could be at work. A misremembrance can spread and become a shared false memory if enough people are exposed to the same suggestion. But it's not just the malleability of memory that's pertinent here. The human brain has a tendency to seek patterns and make connections, a trait known as apophenia. This drive to find meaning can lead us to draw connections where none exist, and perhaps even to create shared false memories. In the case of the Mandela Effect, apophenia could be a driving force behind the creation of these collective misrememberings. Consider the popular example of the Berenstain Bears. This children's book series is often cited in discussions of the Mandela Effect because many people remember the name being spelled Berenstein, with an E rather than Berenstain, with an A. Some argue that this is evidence of an alternative reality, while others suggest a simpler explanation. The Stein ending is more common in names, so people may have unconsciously changed Berenstain to Berenstein in their memory to fit this pattern. The way our brains process information and recall memories is complex. It involves a variety of cognitive biases, heuristics, and unconscious processes that can all contribute to the creation of false memories. These mental missteps, combined with the social dynamics of memory sharing, could very well be the foundation upon which the Mandela Effect is built. Does this mean that the Mandela Effect can be entirely explained by psychological and social phenomena? Not necessarily. It's still a topic of ongoing debate and research. Some researchers suggest that the Mandela Effect may also be influenced by factors we don't yet fully understand, including the possibility of parallel universes or quantum phenomena. Even with the insights provided by neuroscience and psychology, the Mandela Effect continues to be a captivating mystery that challenges our understanding of memory, reality, and the collective human experience. As we delve further into the mysteries of the human mind and its perception of reality, the Mandela Effect continues to intrigue and perplex. This phenomenon challenges our understanding of memory, suggesting that it may not be as reliable as we believe. It opens up the possibility of alternate realities, parallel universes, and quantum entanglement, concepts that are normally confined to the realm of science fiction and theoretical physics. Contradicting our conventional wisdom about how memory works, the Mandela Effect proposes that instead of the mind misremembering, it could be recalling genuine experiences from alternative realities. If this theory is indeed plausible, it could have profound implications for our understanding of reality and our place within it. It would mean that our universe is not a singular linear narrative, but a complex web of interconnected realities. Moreover, the Mandela Effect raises questions about the nature of our existence. Are we living in a physical reality, or is our universe a complex simulation, as suggested by Elon Musk and other leading theorists? If the latter is true, could the Mandela Effect be a glitch in the matrix, a hiccup in the system that reveals the truth about our reality? The concept of collective false memories also holds implications for our understanding of history and the way it is recorded. If large groups of people can remember events differently, it poses the question, what is the truth? Is there one definitive reality, or are there multiple truths existing simultaneously, each as valid as the next? While the Mandela Effect remains a fascinating mystery, it is essential to approach it with a healthy dose of skepticism. The power of suggestion, the fallibility of memory, and the propensity for humans to seek patterns where there are none all contribute to the creation of collective false memories. In the realm of the Mandela Effect, discerning fact from fiction can be a challenging task. However, the pursuit of understanding this cognitive phenomenon continues to captivate researchers, psychologists, and curious minds alike. Whether it ultimately leads to groundbreaking revelations about the nature of our universe or serves as a testament to the quirks of human memory, the journey into the world of the Mandela Effect is a fascinating exploration into the depths of our perception and cognition. Remember, the truth is often stranger than fiction, and in the case of the Mandela Effect, it is exceptionally so. The next time you remember something that seems out of sync with the accepted reality, pause a moment. You may just have stumbled upon another instance of this captivating phenomenon. This has been another episode of the Conspiracy Podcast. If you enjoyed today's exploration into the Mandela Effect, be sure to follow us for more intriguing episodes. We deeply appreciate your support and invite you to subscribe on Patreon to keep the quest for truth alive. Subscribe now.